partition and they expand. Partitions happen, nations expand, lots of stuff happens. And well, let's do the first part of this video. The biggest part, the partition. And who involves themselves in it? Well, this nation meets with the yellow nation, the blue nation, this nation, that nation. And they all agree on a partition of this nation. With the orange nation thinking it's funny that they're getting invaded by that nation, but not long after. Well, the yellow nation may have came back for their former territories. And well, this purplish, bluish, indigo-ish, pinkish, bluish, I don't even know what this color is, starts invading from the south into the mountainous regions. With this nation, the pink nation, we're going to call, even though that's technically the pink nation, this is more of a purple pink. Magneta, isn't Magneta like that? I don't even know. And well, slowly, this nation starts having problems, unable to defend against this many nations. So they try to push back, with their capital likely here. They're trying to hold back. And well, then they push back over on this front, and they push back on that front. Being the strongest nation, everybody wants to weaken it, which is a partition, I guess. And well, this nation here decides to finally join in, with their goal to destroy this nation. Well, this nation in the north starts moving south, with this blue nation making a landing, with the goal to expand these nations and to create new nations. With the orange nation in complete chaos. There's nothing they can do, honestly. They're in trouble. Like, they could technically, I guess, win, but are they going to? With this blue nation moving in, the morale drops rapidly as the forces moving through the Alpine region starts to speed up. And I don't know if they would call it Alpine, like the Alpine mountains. And well, I mean Alps. Why am I calling it Alpines? I don't even know where I'm even getting that word. This nation moving with the goal of getting up here, which I quickly do, to the coast. With the orange nation still fighting, but it gets bad when this nation here moves in and encircles and captures the capital. So the Germans, the orange country surrenders. So let's see the peace treaty. Every nation around it increased, with it being divided into like brownish, orangish countries. Well, we got a few new countries, including this one and a few others. A few brought back, as you can see in a bit of expansion. The orange nation has been greatly reduced. But a war breaks out over here between the yellow nation and this nation that left them not long ago. They still claim them as their territory. So, well, they move in. And, well, after not long of the invasion, they're over here, with no other nation getting involved. Well, at least not yet. Well, they move into the yellow nation with this. And they're about to launch a counter-offensive, but that gets halted when this purple nation decides to invade from the south. Their chances of surviving this have decreased significantly. Well, it ends up with them advancing in and taking most of the territory. And well, we're not done with this part. Another war breaks out, with the purple nation trying to expand into more land. But they only want parts of the land. Well, this nation over here decides to invade too, knowing that this will benefit them. As they also invade this nation, to try and take continues against the Green Nation. Who will win? Well, the Purple Nation continues its advance in the southern part of the Green Nation. And quickly, the other nation in the southern part of this country starts invading, with the goal of the Purple team to get more farmland available to grow stuff, because they need it, although they haven't had full year yet. Well, now for a peace treaty. Much has been happening. But expansion is to occur again. And while this yellow nation is rapidly expanding, and rapid expansion is not the best way to grow an empire. But whatever they do is whatever they do, I guess. Not many nations collapsing today, but a few unifications. This nation and this nation decides to join the nation that just expanded. And as you can see, the nations here are pretty big, but bigger, the more likely to collapse. With this nation voting to join the Red Nation. Well, we still haven't seen anybody expand north yet. And while this nation over here falls into, well, 3 different areas, 3 different empires, 2 different empires, and a 3rd country. Which is a big deal, I guess. Maybe for this nation. Well, that nation has fallen. Where might there be a partition? Well, I don't see any. With this nation over here deciding to expand and form an empire, after it left the other country, it starts expanding into this country. As they think they're doing good, but something bad happens. This was not a good idea. As it gave an opportunity for this nation to push them back, because they didn't have enough strong enough army to keep them back. This nation has a stronger army. And they're offered peace, so they refuse stubbornly. With them seeing that Japan is starting to amass an army, they decide their best bet is probably peace. So they agree to a peace treaty. And by collapse, it breaks into 5 nations. With one nation that breaks away over here. And then there's like a mountainous nation that has a mountainy groups break away. And then in this area, there's another group that decides to leave. And over here. And well, the nations get new colors. As you can see, I'm just going around randomly picking colors for them. And now we're at the last jungle-ish nation, which will go really dark. Well, this nation, the light blue aqua nation, decides to invade. And well, they manage to take over this full area. And they decide to fully annex it. Whether or not this is a good idea is debatable. And while this nation, the Green Nation, seeing weakness, decides to expand, as its leader wants to make a great nation. And well, they quickly take over this nation, because this nation gets overwhelmed with a weaker military. And well, they do one more expansion. Well, now they've formed the strongest nation in this region, which is dangerous. But then a partition happens. Yes, we get one more partition in today's video, with the yellow nation moving into the southern parts of this nation. They invite the blue nation for some land, the 2 blue nations, and they all decide to invade with the same color, just because it'll make it easier. As they come in from over here, and down here, and over here. Now let's see how the peace treaty goes for this. Oh, this blue nation over here decides they're not happy with what they control. So they decide to invade north. There's a lot less nations than you would think would exist, but that's temporary. more nations will exist, more will come. Less, more so. Well, this nation's getting rid of nations on the map. Yay! This is like a blue. I'm going to call it sky blue, because I think that's what sky blue looks like, but I might be wrong. Because I'm not looking at crayons, so I wouldn't know. Because that would be weird, honestly. And while the mighty nation over here decides to expand, yes, expansion is fun. Expansion is good. Oh, wait. Oops. That's not how it's supposed to go. And well, they have a peace treaty. Yay! The age of imperialism. And well, yeah. Well, I don't see much more happening in today's video. So that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!